In the first year in the business in 2009, be it a bad year for Atlanta real estate, I was the #1 realtor in Atlanta my first year in the business. If I can't grow anymore as an agent because of market conditions or saturation or things like that, let me try to grow a business. And we took those same ideas that I had growing my personal business in real estate to our brokerage. And we were able to grow that thing from 1 agent, me, to 12 agents, to 44 agents, to 100 agents. Now we've got over 500 agents and 8 offices around Atlanta. And my marketing was all about connection. How is somebody going to live in this house? What makes this house different than other houses? My wife and I just got married and we built our dream house, and our house gets struck by lightning.
Yep.
And it burns, Mo. It burns to the ground. We lose everything. I flipped it on the head and said, well, if I'm going to be a real estate agent, then I want to be the best damn real estate agent ever.
On this episode of Same Game, Different Turf, we have Bonneau Ansley, one of the top real estate agents in the world. We're going to see a guy who started out on the commercial side. 2008, 2009 happened, lost a lot of it, and had to rebuild it back even better. Built it from scratch. We're going to see a guy that thinks big, works big, and always bets on himself. I'm not sure if you remember, we were over here and we were going on a walk. And we were talking about just my journey into where I am now. And I was like, man, I'm having a hard time embracing it. I'm coming from the NFL. I was in business. The accident happened. Now I'm kind of settling into the speaker world, but it's not like the NFL. And you were telling me how when you started in real estate, it wasn't as glamorous as being a developer. But you said, I'm going to flip this on his head. I'm not just in real estate. I'm setting out to be the best in real estate. Walk me through like that mindset shift as you started to embrace this world.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was a developer.
Mhm.
And when you're a developer, it's kind of glamorous. You're doing these giant buildings or these big projects. And, when you're a real estate agent, you're amongst 26,000 other real estate agents in your local market, Atlanta, or 1.5 million realtors in the United States. It's not glamorous.
Yeah.
Right? And so I was about 28, 29 years old when I turned into becoming a real estate agent because I was a failed developer. That's
Mhm.
a whole nother story, but it was 2008 and
We'll get
no
into it.
developer was
Yeah.
a successful developer then. So I flipped it on the head and said, well, if I'm going to be a real estate agent, then I want to be the best damn real estate agent ever.
Yeah.
And so I started to obsessing that everything that I did in life was to build my real estate clientele. And what was that? Was that, meeting everybody I could? Was that going to dinner and meeting all the tables around me, or sitting at the bar and meeting everybody on the right and left? And just everything I did had purpose, with the purpose and objective of being the top real estate agent in Georgia. And I didn't let up. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure people looked at me like, what is this little dude doing?
Yeah.
Like, chill out.
Yeah.
But when when there's a goal to be reached, and the only way to get there is to just be obsessed with creating the habits to get to that point, that's how I lived my life for a decade.
But you had the interest in real estate. And I think when people have an interest in something, they don't always follow that interest. And so you identified real estate as this thing
I'd say my interest was in people,
in people.
and I never have worked for anybody.
Mhm.
I don't fit in a box. Um, and I didn't fit in a box in school. That's why I was looked at as not a great student. So in the corporate world, I would not be a great corporate employee. So setting aside being on my own, um, I had to put everything into myself. And I knew that I liked people. Like,
Mhm.
I get energy from connecting with people and figuring out what they want in life, be it how can I help somebody in business? How can I help organization raise money? How can I help somebody find the right house for their growing family? Somebody moving into town, into Atlanta. I just like people and I can connect with people. Real estate was kind of a byproduct because my family did real estate. They weren't in a brokerage, they
Yeah.
built houses and things of that nature. But because I liked real estate and because I liked people, I kind of married my passion for people with my knowledge of real estate. Maybe that's called my skill set,
Yeah.
and was able to marry the two. Luckily, I was able to do that at a fairly young age, so I'd have the time to keep developing those super skills to be successful. I was
Yeah.
able to marry my passion and my skill set
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
the bottom line. And there's a lot of people that go through business where maybe they have the skill set to be well, but they hate the business,
Yeah.
or vice versa, right? They are passionate about something, but they're not really good at it.
Yeah.
Okay. And being able to marry those two is a wonderful thing if you can do it. And luckily I got lucky and I was able to do that.
Yeah, yeah. So take us back to the early days. I think one of the things that you talk about a lot is you didn't fit the conventional mode, and you later found out part of that reason is your brain just functioned different than other people. But you've also said that, dyslexia has kind of helped you in the way that you see the world. Go back and unpack that for me.
Well, I didn't know that early on. I just thought I was special
Uh-huh.
in school. And so because I wasn't somebody that in school that was going to be known for my schoolwork, I was known for my disruption in
Mhm.
class. Nobody knew what to do with me. I was always the class clown. But looking back and then looking now where I'm almost 50 years old, I make because I'm naive or the way that my brain works, and I think it's through being dyslexic, I can take really complex issues and really simplify them to be able to attack whatever opportunity, problem, and simplify it.
Mhm.
And by doing that, I don't get caught up in the small stuff,
Yeah.
in the details, but I'm also smart enough to know really how dumb I am. And I use that phrase a lot because I know where to backfill where I'm not smart or
Yeah.
where I'm not effective, is probably the better word. And I'm able to focus primarily on the task and objectives that I'm really, really good at.
Yeah.
And my brain works that way, which at the end of the day is a superpower. I
Yeah.
mean, being dyslexic and, they always say I've got ADD, which now they say everybody probably has that. But being able to hyper focus with the ADD's also been a great gift
Yeah.
because I can lock in on things, and the things that I don't get, I'm not interested in, I can't focus on them, and thus somebody else can do that for me.
Mm.
I try to be a great father, a great husband, build a big company, also serve all my clients and continue to sell a lot of real estate and then do projects on the side.
Mm.
But being ADD, I'm able to shift my brain focus to be able to move from one thing to the next.
One of the things I admire about you is that the way one would perceive a challenge and you use it as a superpower. And you've had these challenges, whether it's you build your dream house and it burns down. You're riding high in development in 2008 and then everything collapses. And you talk about this idea of you got to grow when you get curveballs. And
Yeah.
like, how do you navigate some of that?
I write a lot about that in my book, Brokering Billions. And I view life interestingly, where life is a series of achievements and failures and challenges. It's not easy,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, so you just can't get caught up and when things don't go your way, you got to keep that mindset and that positive spirit, to keep moving forward and keep taking the challenges that God gives you and saying, okay,
Hmm.
challenge, what do we do now? I've been able to do that in with family and in business, and that's been a good thing for me.
But practically speaking, like it's 2008. You have this development. Nobody anticipates it happen, and you've seen this multiple times. COVID happens. You're selling, and then all of a sudden, people can't travel to see houses. Like, what do you do to adapt and navigate when like life is actually throwing you these curveballs, and you got to deal with them in real time?
I think you lean in, you lean into new opportunities. You don't stay stagnant. Like if developing's not working or not going to work for several years, what is going to work?
Hmm.
And then diving completely into the next thing.
Yeah,
You can't do anything half-heartedly. You can't get to the NFL if you're not working is 110% output.
yeah,
How you do anything is how you do everything, right? So when I'm doing something, whatever that new task or new project is, if I'm not 110% in it, I'm not going to do it.
yeah,
So I got to pick those tasks that I'm passionate about, that my skill set can serve, and then dive 100% in it. The other side of that, Mo, is picking the people that you're going to go to war with
yeah,
or go on the field with,
yeah, yeah,
making sure that they're savages, making sure that they're 110% in. Because the team around you is just as important as whatever the leader's doing.
yeah, yeah,
I've been able to find over the last 30 years of doing business amazing people that share the same beliefs and values that as me.
hmm,
And they've all been with me a long, long time,
yeah, yeah,
because you got to treat people well that are in the trenches with you.
yeah,
And picking that team, that's going to work with you on whatever you're doing is highly important. Just like marrying your spouse,
yeah, yeah,
pretty important decision,
yeah,
right? Same with your right hand man or woman that's going
yeah.
to work with you.
So take me back because now you have a huge team, but it didn't start that way. You started as Bonneau's going to be a real estate agent from being a developer.
Yeah.
But then you have to be all in, like you said, because you're not gonna do anything halfway.
Yeah.
You-
So in
you-
2009,
Yep, yep.
I started by myself, Bonneau Ansley, the realtor,
The realtor.
right? Once I got completely maxed out of what my output could be,
Take me back. Your first house is what? Is it a?
my first house, well, I started selling right out of college,
Yeah.
and then I turned into a developer. My first house was at the Ford Field and River Club.
Uh huh.
I moved out of Atlanta, out of Athens, frankly. I was in Atlanta for a little while trying to get my feet underneath me, 6 months or so. Moved down to Savannah, and nobody would hire a 22-year-old that looked like he was 16.
Yeah.
So I found a couple developers, Peter Pollock and Chip Dolan, great guys that were under development of this place called the Ford Field and River Club.
Hmm.
And I somehow got a meeting with Peter and said, "Hey, you don't have to pay me anything. Just give me a book of leads that have called the number
Yeah.
to inquire about property here. And if I can turn some of those into some deals, let's talk."
Hmm.
And I was able to do that pretty quickly. And
Just
so
is that hustle or is that just
that's
not?
hustle, and that's knowing what to ask for and getting
Mm.
people down there, and then, you know, learning how your sales skills work when you only got 3 hours with somebody to try to sell them a lot before they head down to Florida or wherever they're going. Hell, we had one billboard on I-95
Yeah.
that would draw people in, and when they popped in, you had to be on your game and ready to rock and roll.
Hmm.
I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from there, I learned that developers were making more money
Uh huh.
than salespeople,
Yep.
and started doing development with a builder in Savannah. And we were the first guys to get into a place called Palmetto Bluff in
Yep. Yep.
Bluffton, South Carolina.
Hmm.
And we were highly successful from 2002 to 2008.
Yeah.
Common story, right? And during that time, we built 120 houses, expensive houses from $1.2 million to $4 or $5 million, which was a lot of money back in '02,
Yeah.
'03, '04, '05. But then we built, my wife and I just got married, and we built our dream house on the Wilmington River in Savannah. We were living there for a year. Jen was 9 months pregnant with Blakely, and our house gets struck by lightning.
Yeah.
And it burns, Mo. It burns to the ground. We lose everything that we own.
Yeah.
And we did a reset there. And 3 or 4 days later, we moved to Atlanta, rented a house, had Blakely, started another development with some great guys in Atlanta. And from '05 to '08, designing, building, selling, crash happened. We had the whole place almost sold out. Nobody came to closing.
Yeah.
Financial markets were toast.
Yep.
Pivoted '09, turned into Bonneau Ansley, the real estate agent.
Are you working with a company or is it?
I was working with a local company here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was still doing the stuff down at Palmetto Bluff, and the music stopped there too.
Yep.
I made the decision I was going to be a real estate agent. And when I got maxed out, a client of mine introduced me to an individual who's now been with me for 14, 15 years.
So you pick up real estate and it just takes off, or you kind of have to figure out?
No, it took off because, frankly, the building that I was building, the guy that ended up buying it said, "Hey, I'm only going to buy this if you sell it." I said, "Well,
Yeah.
man, I'm a developer.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a sales guy." He said, "You're not a developer anymore."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I said, "Well, I do know this building better than anybody." So I started selling townhomes on Peachtree Road. And from that, I'd sell a townhome, and the buyer would say, "Well, I got this other house on Mount Perrin or Garreau or Habersham that I need to sell." Little fun fact is my wife, Jen, she had a real estate license.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Man, I don't want to have my name on a sign."
Mm-hmm.
So for the first couple months, I'd put Jen's name on the sign,
Yeah.
Jen Ansley.
Uh-huh.
And I just wasn't ready to make that move
Mm.
until we started selling houses with Jen's name on it. I said, "Well, I'm going
This
to
is
put my
art.
name on it now."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So from there, I just started going, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't let up. In the first year in the business in 2009, be it a bad year for Atlanta real estate, I was the #1 realtor in Atlanta my first year in the business.
But there's 20,000 real estate agents in Atlanta, millions across. Why is somebody saying this guy that just got into real estate, we're going to trust him, especially in a down market?
Well, I think that I took a different approach to other agents doing business at that time. I took a commercial approach,
Mm-hmm.
more of a business approach to the business. And,
What does that mean?
well, I gave marketing plans.
Mm-hmm.
I provided a lot of detail. I took an approach that we wouldn't just put a sign in the yard and wait for the phone to ring and
Mm-hmm.
cook some brownies for an open house,
Yeah.
right? I really marketed houses differently,
Mm-hmm.
and that took off pretty quickly.
You talk about marketing a lot.
Marketing's everything.
And not only just marketing in the traditional sense, but like actually disrupting when you're marketing. That isn't always associated with real estate, especially not back then. How did the like light bulb for marketing?
I think that marketing is just in my DNA, and be it self-marketing,
Mm.
be it marketing products or things of that nature or houses, and um, being able to figure out how to connect.
Mm.
I think the big theme with me is connection.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm able to market a property that connects with somebody else in another medium, be it social media now, be it print, be it whatever it is, being able to connect is a big deal. And my marketing was all about connection.
Yeah, yeah.
How is somebody going to live in this house? What
Mm-hmm.
makes this house different than other houses? And being able to put that out there and describe that the correct way to get people into the house was part of my deal. I had a baseball player my first or second year in the business, big major league pitcher, and was playing for the Braves, and he
Mm-hmm.
got traded.
Yeah.
And he calls me and he says, "Hey, Bonneau, I got traded. I'm moving. You got to sell this house for me." And I went over to the house the next day. The house is already vacant. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's packed up and gone. So the big event I did, which I've done hundreds of events since, was I took this beautiful vacant house and got together with Maserati,
Mm-hmm.
and we put all the new Maserati cars out there and partnered with a local art dealer
Yeah.
and put a couple $1,000,000 of art in the house. And we took the Maserati high profile list, the art clients list, and whoever I knew, and we had a party.
Mm-hmm.
Had a little guy playing music, wine and alcohol was flowing, had little appetizers, and somebody that was there to look at art and buy art ended up buying the house.
Nice.
And my thought was, geez, this was going to be a tough sale, vacant in
Uh-huh.
2009, 2010. And we got a record price. We got great publicity. And that event really kind of catapulted me to a luxury
Yeah. Yeah.
seller. So you kind of take opportunities, and if you can create the right spin on what you got, it could pay off tenfold. And that's
Yeah.
what happened to me with that one event.
But that conventional wisdom would say, hey, just list the house, put it on MLS, and you're not really a conventional wisdom guy. You're trying to figure out how to connect all these different dots to make
It
it make
didn't
sense.
cost me anything to have Maserati there. They were trying to sell cars.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't cost me anything to have the art dealer there with all his art. He's trying to sell art.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to put everybody together and connect and sell what we were going to do with this party was a great thing.
I think that's one of the things I find interesting is the way you view partnerships and the way you view teams. Everybody, literally everywhere, can be on your team, from the valet person, the art dealer, the car dealership, the restaurant waitress. Like, how do you think about just having everybody team Ansley when it comes to helping, you know, drive these things home?
They're called multipliers.
Multipliers.
How do you have relationships that can benefit both people?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've been hyper focused to make sure that lawyers, estate lawyers, guys that cut your hair, accountants, valet guys in the nicest places that are picking up the nicest cars for people to go eat dinner, that they had my card, my book of houses. I tip them very, very well to make sure that the next Porsche that drives in here, when it leaves, it's going to have Bonneau's magazine in the passenger seat with my card stapled to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I put everybody on my team. And then I got a lot more people that are rooting for Bonneau, and somebody's getting their hair cut and says, "Man, I'm thinking about moving." Well, you got to call my buddy Bonneau.
Mm-hmm.
Here's his card.
Yeah.
And having those deep relationships outside of real estate have been really impactful for me. And that goes with every business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're an insurance salesman, if you're a wealth manager, or a car salesman, right? Everybody needs all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got people that say, "Hey, I know this guy that probably be a good fit for you," you know, it makes your army that much bigger.
Yeah.
You know, when we're trying to do really, really big things, you got to understand that you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah. 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 And talk about your team, because your team's been with you for a long time. And when did you get to, or how do you even view team where you're constantly trying to add people to help you in the areas that you're not strong, or as you're thinking about growing, you're going to need someone and you're bringing them in before you need them?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of doing psychological testing
Uh-huh.
and knowing how the brain works. And I'm not a neuroscientist by any means, furthest thing from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I know that I'm good in one quadrant of the brain, I'm going to find somebody else that's really good in this quadrant of the brain, this quadrant of the brain, and this quadrant of the brain.
Mhm.
and put them all on a team together so we're all operating at a very, very high level, no matter who we're sitting next to or trying to get the listing from
Yeah.
on the other side of the table. Because if I'm dealing with somebody that's highly analytical and doesn't give the good old boy trust factor that I kind of bring
Mhm.
and wants to dive into the numbers, I've got somebody that is highly analytical that can speak that language
Mhm.
and pair that up with the guy across the table to get that business. Our mutual friend, another Mo,
Mhm.
Bonneau, really helped me early on to understand how the brain works and how the connection works relative to who you're actually trying to sell to.
Yeah.
And this all happened with me meeting him to try to sell his house, probably my first year in the business. I sat down and he asked me what his house was worth, and I said, your house is worth $600,000. He calls me the next day and says, hey, thanks for telling me what my house is worth, but I need some more backup on how you got there. And I said, well, I just know, Mo.
You got experience. You've been in it.
I know that this
Take my
house sold
word
here,
for
this
it.
house sold there, and I just think I know your house is going to sell for 600,000. He said, well, I need some backup if I'm going to hire you. So that was kind of when the light bulb went off to say, hey, the way that I am doing things is not going to resonate with everybody.
Mhm.
And golly, that was 15 years ago.
But do you push back on him and say, just take my word for it? Or do
No.
you take that as a learning
Yeah,
experience too?
but golly, there's a learning experience every day.
Yeah.
But you got to open your mind to say that is a learning experience.
But then a lot of people, when they want all the credit, they want all the resources, they want everything. How do you differentiate between like spreading the goods with your team or working together with people versus being just the individual, like one man force?
I think early on in my career,
Mm.
you know, yeah, I wanted the accolades that went along with it. Now, I don't turn my numbers in to the board. I just try to do a good job and have the rest take care of itself,
Yeah.
and try to give everybody that works with me, the accolades because they're the ones doing the heavy lifting.
Hmm. And so the interesting thing about your business is that January 1, you have no points on the scoreboard. You got to start all over. How do you approach that? Like, you don't get credit for what you did last year. You don't get credit for the year before. Like, it's a new year. You got a team. Like,
It's kind of like football.
uh-huh.
You win a championship. You won how many state championships did your high school team win?
4.
4.
Yeah.
All right. So your freshman year, you
Mhm.
guys win a state championship. You have maybe half the players were seniors.
Mhm.
They go on go play college ball. You're sitting there as a sophomore, same coach, different personnel,
Yeah.
and the goal's the same.
Yeah.
But the characteristics or the team aren't the same. Maybe you had a phenomenal leader that was the quarterback that could get the players hyped up. Maybe this quarterback for your sophomore year, is a better runner, not a great thrower. You were a receiver. So the dynamics have shifted. So the coach, the leader of the team, has to start over as well.
Mhm.
It's not like so for real estate, I'll sell $100 million one year, 200 or 300. January 1, I'm at 0. Your football coach is at 0 wins. How is he going to win another championship and win 4 in a row when you were there, state championship? How am I going to continue to be a top producer? I take everything that I did and I break it.
Mhm.
You got the saying, if it ain't broke, don't break it. I kind of like to break everything, retool, figure out what's in the arsenal, what's on the team, and figure out a game plan for us to double our business, to do better than we did before. And then we create those habits. So if we did 200 million in 2014 and we were going to do 250 at the end, January 1, we started acting, staffing, advertising like a $250 million team. By doing that, we increase our marketing spend by 40% or whatever the number is. We, we add to our staffing. We figure out that if we sold 140 houses last year, we need to sell 180 this year. In January, we need this number, this number, and this number. And we take accurate accounts of every month to make sure that we hit our goal. Same with any football team that wins a championship and has to win it again the next year. Take inventory, figure out who needs to do what, and take accurate measures to get there with that goal on your mirror when you wake up in the morning every day that you're looking at.
In football, though, we know we're going to play 17 games. You don't know what houses are going to come on the market. You don't know what the market's going to do. You don't know like what kind of complexity is going to take place.
What competitors are going to do.
What competitors, how do you
what
say,
they're going to say about you to
what
try to
they're gonna
take your
say.
business.
You're staffing with like no guarantees of what you're walking into.
Yeah. I've never, and maybe because I'm not smart enough or I'm highly naive to it, I don't try to let outside factors dictate my plan.
Mhm.
I just go.
Mm.
And if it's not working and it's March, figure out what needs to be turned up a little bit, turned down a little bit to get to that area, to get to the goal that we desire.
Mhm.
We've been able to hit all the goals that we went for because we're relentless in the pursuit
Mm.
to get there. In 2015, I hit the same numbers that I did the year before.
Mhm.
And I looked back and I said, did I hit a ceiling?
Yeah.
How did we not grow? And we grew every year up till then. And that's when I decided to start. We started at Ansley, Atlanta
Mhm.
real estate. So we started a business because I was going to say, well, if I can't grow anymore as an agent because of market conditions or saturation or things like that, let me try to grow a business. And we took those same ideas that I had growing my personal business in real estate to our brokerage.
Yep.
And we were able to grow that thing from one agent, me, to 12 agents, to 44 agents, to 100 agents. Now we've got over 500 agents and 8 offices around Atlanta. And then we went back in with some partners in 2021 and bought a global brand, Christie's International Real Estate. We were able to grow that and grow that. And
Why that brand specifically?
Well,
And why not
it's a
just grow
top
organically?
name and a top brand.
Mhm.
And it's been around for a long time. And there was the auction house and the real estate house. And that real estate house, we knew that we could grow that amazing, iconic name, Christie's International Real Estate. And was with really, really smart partners with that venture. And fast forward to today, 2025, we were able to package everything that we owned, Ansley and Christie's and my partner's company at Properties in Chicago, and sell it to where we felt had the best momentum, the best financial backing to grow. And that's Compass Real Estate. And Compass started by a guy named Robert Refkin, and he's an amazing leader. And we knew that business was the one to be under. And we wanted to continue with our independent brands, Ansley, the Christie's, at Properties, and have a financial backer as strong as Compass. And I can't wait to be part of this rocket ship over the next 5-10 years to see how the real estate environment and landscape changes being owned by such a powerhouse. But keeping us where we are, independent, so we can continue to grow Ansley. And they're growing Christie's all over the world.
Yeah.
And then Compass is a powerhouse, and they're growing by leaps and bounds.
So you're very giving with your knowledge in a competitive market. There's millions of realtors around. You wrote a book about it, Brokering Brilliance. You have a podcast about it. You speak and you give all your trade secrets away. Why would you like do that? Like,
Mo, I've met so many agents in my career, single mothers, people that want their kids to go to college, but it's their livelihood and business. It's going to get those family dreams to where that family wants to go.
Mhm.
I get my will for life on being able to help other agents um, get to where they want to go with their families, and it's that's the most satisfying thing that I've ever done, is being able to talk and mentor and help other agents get to where they want to go, and hear stories that they've made this much money and they bought a house, or they got out of this abusive relationship because they had the money and confidence to do it, and their kids are doing this, that, and the other because they have the means to be able to give opportunities elsewhere, and then they start giving back, and
Mhm.
it's a great thing. And when we started our business, it was all about giving back.
Yeah.
We partnered on the first day we started business with CHOA, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. What an incredible organization that is, to be able to give a portion of everything we make back to them.
Yeah.
Um, and it makes life have purpose.
Mhm.
Life isn't all about making money.
Mm.
It's a byproduct of working hard, but being able to give back and help others is that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I don't know if people know that or recognize that part about you, because you're always trying to help or connect. I may get a text and say, "Hey, you need to meet this person," or you put these power walks together where you're bringing people together. You are valuing these relationships and just being a value add through it. It's Where does that come from?
I love it if I introduce you to somebody and it takes you to another level. Like
Uh-huh.
that's awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, um, and again, that goes back to everything about connectivity, that how we started this podcast. That's my superpower, if I have one, is
Mm.
connections and connecting. Um, and I enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy doing that.
But I don't think people always realize like their form of intelligence. Like you have people that go study law, or they go study medicine, or they're engineering. It seems like you've been able to tap into like the social intelligence side of you, of where the currency is of connecting people and treating people right and like doing right by people.
I think there's two sides of intelligence. There's IQ,
Mm-hmm.
which is measured.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, my sister has a very high IQ. She went to Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I my IQ probably isn't even measured,
Yeah.
but there's something called EQ,
Yeah, yeah.
emotional intelligence, and I think I got more of that than IQ. I love people,
Yeah.
and I love helping people, and I think I got an abundance of EQ.
Mm-hmm. But so how do you learn then? Like you
I think that I don't know if EQ's learned. I think that you can work on your EQ.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People that are shy and not good around people work on trying to be more um, available to people and connective to people. That's where I get my energy, is from
Mm-hmm.
other people.
Yeah.
I try not to hang out with anybody that takes energy away either.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I try to, surround myself with people that provide good
Yeah.
and provide other energy out there.
Yeah. And so you've been in real estate a long time, and we were sitting down a while ago talking, and you were talking about this idea of people think that they're behind, or people think that they all have to figure it out. And you talked about right around the time you hit 40 is when it started to click. Even though you had success, but you're able to like bring all these experience together. Tell me about like 40 to now, and what you've learned, how you make decisions, how you take chances, how you evaluate risks to get to where you've gotten now.
Some of the most successful people in the world that project success on social media and wherever else might not be that happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that comes from a bad word called envy.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what success you have or how much money you've made, Once you get to a level, there's envy because you're looking at somebody else that has more.
Yeah.
And then you get to that level. There's always going to be somebody at every level where you go. And envy is very dangerous because with that, you can never be another good word, and that's called content.
Mm-hmm.
Content with your surroundings, content with how much money you've made, content with your giving. And if you're always looking to one up or envy and I want this, I want that because that guy's got this or that, it's like you're on this treadmill, man, and you can never get off, and it's a disease.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to understand, but you can't always keep up with the Joneses. And once you can kind of realize that at a certain age, your life becomes more about purpose. And if you can go from envy to purpose, I think you can live a really fulfilling, happy life.
Yeah. And so your purpose has been able to fuel more of the last 10 years to get you to just kind of be locked into where you need to be and
Yeah, but
enjoying it
look,
a little
it
bit
hadn't
more.
always been like that, Mo.
Yeah.
You know, when I started in 2009, I was obsessed with selling every single property in
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, and I couldn't get off the treadmill. At a certain point, you get older and you're like, what's life about?
Mm-hmm.
It's about purpose and it's about connection. It's not about envy.
Yeah.
And I think that's when really good work happens. When you can just do things for the right reasons
Yeah.
that better other people's lives.
Mm-hmm. Man, I appreciate this. Is there anything you wanted to dive into before?
I think we crushed it.
Yeah. I appreciate it. All the walks, the conversations, the you get the random text at like 10 o'clock, like checking in on you and you actually want to know. It's like, all right, come over tomorrow. Let's troubleshoot it. I don't know if everyone knows that side of you. So I'm a kind of brag on you a little bit. So appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate our friendship, our relationship, and I'm here to help you with whatever you got, whatever you need me for.
Hey, Mom. All right.
Thanks, man.